Alright guys, I had this feeling come back last night that I haven't had for a little while. I just wanted to share it. So I'll start by what happened during the day. I was at work and I worked with a student that I haven't worked with before, and he's a blind student. And yeah, I spent the day with him. He's a very nice student. I'm not saying anything bad happened, but when I got home, I went to bed as normal, and I woke up about 1 a.m. and just for whatever reason, my mind was just locked in on what I did during the day. I was thinking about that student, like what I did, the actions I took. Like maybe I was thinking about how things I could have done better, things I maybe did a bit wrong, and I was just thinking very deeply about how I could have helped that student more. And yeah, I was sort of like locked into it. And suddenly I look at the clock and it's 2:30, and it's like the time just evaporated, and I was just like, oh, I haven't felt this in a long time, and I just wanted to talk about that. Eventually I got back to sleep and I woke up about 6 a.m. after that. So I didn't get the best sleep. I don't feel terrible, but I do feel a little bit like tired and cloudy, but yeah, for the most part I feel good. But it's a feeling that I used to get quite a lot. I'm just going to point the mic towards me a little bit. It's a feeling that I used to get quite a lot, but it would usually happen when I get into bed. So I would get into bed and I just start thinking about things, whatever had happened during the day or whatever I was concerned about over the next day. And it would be impossible for me to put those thoughts aside. And when that would happen to me, I'd usually be up all night. I would keep going, like I keep going for a wee. I keep feeling like I need to go. And then I'd be getting like quite stressed out, tossing and turning. And it's like I couldn't shut my mind off. So yeah, after about, I guess it was like an hour and a half of thinking last night, I thought, all right, I need to reset this. So I went to the bathroom. I didn't even need a wee, but I had a wee. And then I lied down and I tried this thing where you take a very deep breath and then you take a little bit more air in, then you let it go. So it's like this. Filled up my lungs. Now a little bit extra. And then slowly let it out. And then you could go for another breath. And then you get a little bit more. And even just those two breaths, I already feel a bit more chill. And I did that for a little bit. It didn't feel like it helped much at first, but eventually it must have helped because I went to sleep. And it just made me think about how that used to be such a big problem for me. But I've noticed that these days it usually happens to me after I've been to sleep. I then wake up in the middle of the night, usually about 1 a.m. I'll wake up and my mind is like, I find it's like on fire sometimes at 1 a.m. And it's almost like I've deferred that moment of deep thought to halfway through the night instead of initially at night now. And I was just thinking maybe this means I need to give myself some space during the day to just be silent. Now, the problem is, it's hard to give yourself that space where you're actually like truly relaxed and there's no other thoughts entering your head. I've just got to let the cat in. Yeah, it's hard to do that. Come in. So, yeah, there's something I feel like I need to start trying to do over the coming days, try and give myself some space. But I think the only way for it to really work is to like isolate your senses. So like at night time, it's dark. So you're not looking at anything, your eyes are closed. And for me, I cover my eyes so there's no light coming in. And then, there's no sort of sounds going on. So you're like allowed to have your mind wander and Is the cat going to drink out my bottle? Go on, away from the bottle. Yeah, getting very distracted by the cat. What was I saying? Yeah, it's the only time your mind or my mind is truly allowed to like relax. So that's something I need to work on, is giving myself that space. I feel like allowing that to happen before I go to sleep might alleviate that problem. But it's like, when do I do that? Because usually, like when I come in from work, I want to, I like to get tucked into a game, or I'm usually really hungry, so have dinner, and then I want to like play a game or some entertainment, So I feel like maybe the morning is the best time. But then usually the things that are sort of locked into my mind are the things that I've done at night. No, not at night, during the day. So yeah, maybe that's just, I need to do it after I've had that day's worth of tasks. Because another thing that was on my mind, it wasn't just like working with that student that day, but I was also mixed with thinking about like something I've been asked to do in a couple of days. And then I started like almost like planning it out. Like I was asked to film something. I started planning out like the equipment I need, what I'm going to do. And then I started thinking to myself, because I'm worrying about it, I was like, okay, maybe I'll make it easier on myself. Like I was planning on filming it with 2 cameras. Maybe I'll just do 1 camera to reduce the stress. And I'm like trying to play it down in my mind already. And I'm like already worrying about charging my batteries and that. And it's just like, it's not very useful for when you're trying to go to sleep. And the advice I've given in the past is to write those things down to try and get it out of your head. But I do understand, like when you're lying there, or for me, I'm lying there, it's like I'm trying to sleep. It's very hard to make yourself want to do anything else, because all I want in that moment is to go to sleep. All I want to do is to like stop thinking, and that's what I'm focused on. But it's not conducive to sleep. So it's hard to make yourself get out of bed and think, okay, I'm going to start writing these things down, when you're sort of like, yeah, I just want to close my eyes. I just want to shut up in my head and I want to sleep. But, it doesn't happen too often to me these days. And I think talking about it does help. So, yeah, talking to the camera for me is like the option that I've chosen. I might, when I go to work, I might just, if there's time, just mention to my manager, I'm worried about, I've been asked to do this filming on the Wednesday. I'm a little bit like, I'm stressing about it. I'm not sure why. Yeah, maybe just talking about those things will help. Yeah, but, in the past when I've been locked into those thoughts, I just don't end up sleeping at all. And I always know in the back of my mind, I should get up right now. I should go and do something, because that's what everyone says. It's like you're locked into some thoughts. Everyone gives you the advice like, oh, just get up for a bit. Go downstairs and do something that's non-stimulating. So a lot of the times people say read a book, or just do some cleaning, or something mundane to sort of allow your mind to drift and then allow you to enter that sleepy state again. I've never done that, because when I'm lying in bed, it's almost like, not that I'm not willing to, but it's like I'm so almost like I'm angry. I'm like, I've got to sleep. I've got to lie here and try and sleep. And yeah, I guess it's never worked for me. The only thing that's helped me is just having that sleep routine, always going to bed at the same time, always getting up around the same time. And it's sort of alleviated it quite a lot. Yeah, but it's something I've got to be looking into. Giving myself that space during the day, or trying to anyway, I guess it's almost like meditation really, giving yourself space for meditation to allow your mind to wander. So the way that I'm going to try and approach it at some point, it's like in a previous video you've seen, if you've watched it, I just squatted down, it was just here. I squatted down there and I just closed my eyes. But in that video I just talked about what I was thinking. So it would be doing that, but you're not talking. It's just all in your head. and then trying to focus on drawing your attention to breathing instead of your thoughts. So when your mind starts to wander, you just listen to your breath and then try and just focus on that. I actually watched a video on Netflix last night, and it was based on a Roald Dahl writing about a man who basically did that to see with his eyes shut. And the idea was, in this story, was he would stare at a candle and not let his mind wander and just focus on the one thing that he's thinking about, which was himself. He just imagined an image of himself, something that he loved the most, and he focused on that, and he practiced every day, and eventually he was able to see with his eyes shut, and he was going to use that to gamble. And so he could see cards when they were face down, he could see through them and then gamble correctly, so he'd come out with lots of winnings. But in essence, that is meditation in a way. It's redirecting your concentration, your focus, to try and quieten the mind, direct the mind to one thing. And it's something you have to practice. And it's something that I haven't ever given, I haven't given the time for it, really. I went through a phase where I did try a bit of meditation and I didn't keep up with it. And it's something you have to do consistently to get better at it. 'Cause it's like a skill. So yeah, that is something I want to work on. And, hopefully it helps going forward. If I do end up doing it consistently, I will update you. Yeah. So that's about it for this video. Just wanted to share that because I was tired and I just wanted to complain, really. Yeah, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Yeah. So I'm going to stand up for a second now. You stay there. That's it.